Let's get a round of applause in the chat. It took us 11 minutes. Good evening, I Am Alive channel. As you can see, I just forgot the name of my own YouTube channel. And if you want to join me right now, I'm bloody live. I'm live on twitch.tv/Inaba, where you can come say hello and have a good fun time with us. Where we cover these topics, and it's always a good laugh. Not really. Sometimes we speak about some very serious stuff, and it can get a little bit sad and a little bit depressing. But it's fun sometimes. You can come join us, and please subscribe to the channel if you're new, because some of you don't subscribe. Some of you just watch and then click back on to the next video but don't subscribe. Freaks me out. Who are you? What are you doing? But today, we're going to be speaking about a fan favorite, a favorite of mine, one of my most loved YouTube channels on the planet. Go to find Bethany Beard and Christian Clark, my favorites. These two have put out an array of content which is just stupid. Now, basically, Go to find over the years have been criticized for their views on modesty, telling women what to do with their, I guess, outfits, body, their views on the LGBTQ plus community, just a lot of controversial shit. But recently, Go to find have apparently changed their views on modesty, which is a pretty big thing, I think, because this could be a positive thing. Look at that like ratio. It's not that bad. So I'm going to give these two an actual, like a little chance, you know? Maybe they've changed. Maybe something's happened and this is going to be some groundbreaking stuff and I will no longer ever make a Gotta Find video. Yeah, that's not true.
This is a really scary video to make. I feel like we have been delaying this for years.
Let's go.
I cannot tell you how many messages, DMs, emails we've gotten from you people who have loved our conversations we've had in the past about modesty and people who...
Am I the only one that's scared? I feel like we're going to come in this with an even worse opinion. That was why I was scared.
I've hated our conversations, specifically our ebook Project Modesty. If you're new, you're like, what's that? And our video Project Modesty that are taken down. They no longer exist.
Oh. That sounded terrible.
I know. But modesty is something that we talked about quite a bit when we launched Girl Defined Ministries, and we've been really hesitant to talk about it now. And you're getting a behind the scenes look at our thoughts.
I like, don't get me wrong, I'm always willing for, like, especially these two, like, they've spread a lot of negative and terrible opinions, but, like, I'm open for them to change their beliefs and move into a positive journey, so I genuinely, like, am hoping they're going to come and say something good, something positive, something... What's wrong with me? I feel like I'm being poisoned by them. I feel like they've put some shit in my water. Something's happened here. I'm going out. Before this video ends, I'm gone. I'm gone.
And where we're at and what we're thinking, we're going to share all that in this video. I'm scared. I'm really scared.
Okay.
Me too.
It's not that scary.
Oh, I'm making you scared.
I'm like this, like...
Take me only because it has, like, the potential, like, you know, like, we've avoided this for a reason.
I wasn't scared before, but now I...
Please just get to the point. I haven't got all day.
I am.
Yeah, this is going to be a really good conversation. Don't leave us. Stick
Okay.
around till the very end.
I won't. You said it 3 minutes. You said it for 3 minutes. I'm still here.
We're giving away millions, folks.
Think about a surprise.
Yeah, why are they yelling? How our views on modesty have changed. Thank you. Thank you. You didn't need to organize.
All right, guys. Stick around, though, because, yeah, this
Oh
is
my
gonna
God,
be a
you
really
have said
raw,
stick around
down-to-earth,
so
as
many
you can see,
times.
unscripted.
I'm
We
fucking
have no
stuck
script.
to the chair at this point.
We barely know what we're going to say, but we're
my
inviting you into the
goodness.
process of where we've been, where our thought process has been, how the Lord has grown us and changed our perspectives in some ways. Just kind of a look back.
Are we all
on,
stuck,
yeah,
chat?
a look back? Is that a look back? I don't know.
A reflection.
Of the a reflection of the past few years and kind of where we're at today on this journey. But a huge part of our journey was us coming out with this book.
Yeah.
Oh my God, are they
Not part of the
promoting?
plan, completely disconnected from the topic of modesty. Not part of the plan.
Are they promoting a book? Are they promoting a fucking book? You ain't promoting a book to me right now. You aren't promoting a book to me right now, are you?
And trusting God with the twists and turns of your story. Another journey God has had us on for the past 10 years, even before that, of just walking life through disappointments, unfulfilled longings, unanswered prayers in so many different aspects of our lives, from relationships to my journey with infertility to your ongoing struggle with migraines to things that happened in high school,
Loss,
to
losing a younger sibling.
there's like sports injuries that were kind of devastating back when we were younger, like things that you don't even know about. We open up in this book in, I would say, the most raw and relatable way.
Does anybody care about this book? Does anybody care about this book? Can I just get some identification if anybody cares about this book in the chat, please? I would like to know. No? No? Nobody cares? Nobody cares? Okay, let's skip.
Whole goal of releasing this ebook in this
Oh
video
my
was,
God!
one, because we
Man.
think honesty is important. of that ebook.
Positive
Positive out.
What's going on? What's going on? Books being said every second.
Really helpful when we were younger is if someone created a product where they showed you what we thought were very fashionable photos of how to combine fashion and modesty. I think that was our tagline. It was like Project Modesty. I can't even remember. It's been so long. It was like a really long tagline.
Hey, we put a lot of work into that.
That was big production.
Yes.
We really
We're halfway through and like nothing has been said. Like literally nothing. Like that. I am hearing white noise. You know that? You know when your TV, like in like the 1960s, goes static. That's what I'm seeing right now, man. I'm just. It's just white noise.
knew what we were doing. I mean, I am proud of like how hard we worked.
We were ambitious.
We worked really hard. But that was like our heart truly was to say, hey, yeah, we get it too. Like it is hard. How do you combine fashion and modesty and like what does that even look like? Yeah. And so we were trying to show you this is what it could look like. And honestly, as I think about our book Project Modesty, like if we just took out all of the pictures and just left like the content of like where
I still don't know what's being spoken about here. I don't know what's being what is this?
Where does God's word talk about modesty? Why does it even matter? Should we as Christian women
getting
even
somewhere.
about this and Christian men? Like it's a conversation for the whole church to have, like as a package deal, not just one-sided. Like I think a lot of the content, I would still say, it's really great. It's just when you start getting into the specifics, which I know we did give a lot of disclaimers, like, okay, this is just the way we're embracing modesty, the way we feel convicted to dress, and we're trying to show you how you can have fun with clothes, but we know everyone's gonna land in a different place. I still think back to your point, like looking back, we see we were drawing some pretty hard lines, and then I think in some ways we even started to hold ourselves and each other as sisters, as like our younger sisters were getting older and we were getting older and maybe really exploring this more, talking to our husbands, you know, being married and just talking to mentors and then other Christian women who are on this journey too, and just realizing, you know, like modesty, there isn't a hard line biblically of like how long the skirt has to be godly or how long the sleeve or not sleeve, you know, like all those things where we kind of went.
Being said, I feel like I'm like, you know when like Doctor Strange goes through the multiverse, you know when he's kind of like there's like the you know that bit in the Spider-Man trailer of where it's like the multiverse is being like fucking everywhere and shit, and they're like flying through it and stuff. I feel like I'm doing that right now, man. I feel like I'm in the multiverse or something. I feel like I'm just gonna turn around and fucking Benedict Cumberbatch is just gonna be in front of me, you know? Hopefully Tobey Maguire's there.
Just ABCs, like 1, 2, 3s. But God's going after so much more, which is why he often doesn't just give us a checklist, but calls us to examine our hearts because he knows if that's right, it's going to be reflected in every aspect of how we present ourselves as Christian women. A really interesting conversation that I had, and you know, I don't know, I'm very open, and you don't like to be as open, so you might get mad publicly, like behind the scenes, but like. So a conversation, because we have been discussing this amongst us sisters, because there are 5 of us girls in our family, and so there's a lot of girl talk, and this was a conversation that had been happening.
Is anyone getting a headache? Like, I'm not trying to be mean here, but it does just seem to be buy our book, and also we once made a video. But we're not going to update on that.
I remember, you know, when my parents would be like, hey, you know, we really feel convicted about like the length of your shorts or something. I remember you having massive like alligator tears over it. Like, no, I'm going to be the most uncool person in the world. Like, when you're like 12.
But anyways, I remember like talking to my parents about this recently, and I thought it was really interesting because they were saying like, yeah, when you have 5 daughters and they all want to do different things, you just have to come up with, when they're young and they're like, you know, preteens and teenagers, you just have to come up with really black and white like guidelines for the family that everyone has to follow. It doesn't mean that's like the right or wrong thing you have to follow for the rest of your life. But my dad was like, I can't be fighting this modesty battle every single day. Like you can wear that, but you can't wear that. You can wear, you know, like all different body types and shapes. He's like, so we just created one set of rules. Like, this is what you have to, you know, can and can't wear in our house. Like, and, you know, then when you are on your own, you can make those own decisions. But I think us being super black and white, we kind of took that as like, okay, those are the rules, and this is this is the way to honor God. And it was super interesting talking to them because they were like,
okay, so they're basically saying here is that they grew up with a super strict set of rules around modesty and wearing specific sets of clothing, and that kind of stuck with them for life. And I imagine they're going to say they're not that strict anymore. It's not necessarily anything groundbreaking, I guess, but we're getting somewhere.
No, that's not what we don't think this is like sitting or not sitting. They were like, that was just to make it easy on ourselves. So we weren't like having to have this big battle. And if you're a parent, you're a dad or a mom, like, and you have like preteens, teens, or you are one, you know how that can become such a big thing because as a preteen or teen, you're like, the whole world is ending if I can't wear that, you know? And so I think that was a super helpful insight. Like, oh, that's actually really interesting thinking from the parents' perspective, why they set certain boundaries for us as we were growing up. And instead of embracing, like understanding the heart behind it and then using wisdom on our own, we kind of latched onto that. And as the years have gone on, as we've gotten married, as we've gotten to know other godly women who have different standards, our perspectives have changed. I will say.
Finally! Fuck, let's get a round of applause in the chat. It took us 11 minutes. But we finally. I don't know what I'm watching.
Like, I think even things we shared for that moment in life in Project Modesty, we don't necessarily hold to that now. So I feel like
I noticed that you have it within your jeans.
I know. Okay. I was just gonna kind of call you out. Okay. But that's another thing. Like, we don't want.
See, was that a joke? Was that a joke? Because I don't know if it actually was a joke. Because I'm like genuinely thinking that, mate, I have like a... I have like 3 rips in my... I'm not going to show it because I'll get like banned on Twitch. And I also don't want to show my private parts right now. But like in my shorts, I have like fucking 4 rips right now. And like, if I wasn't wearing boxers, my testicles probably would be showing. But I'm not going to show that on camera. I'm not starting OnlyFans. But, you know, that's like not modest, you know? Having a rip in your knee part of your jeans, that's fucked up. You should be putting an age warning on this.
Want to be the Holy Spirit for all of the sisters in our family. Even like we don't like say Kristen and Zach, they're like, hey, this is okay for our family, and then say Dave and I are like, oh, that's not okay for our family, in a million different areas. It doesn't have to be modesty. Like, we don't want to be policing each other and like being the Holy Spirit for each other and for our younger.
What are you talking about? Your entire channel is you basically instructing women on how to live their lives. I mean, didn't you literally make an entire podcast about how like lesbians are hated by God? You literally did that. I've made a video on this. You did an interview with an incredibly problematic person of where they were basically saying that all LGBTQ plus people are going to go to hell. That's what you were basically saying. And then after an hour of it, you were like, oh, but how can we befriend the gays? You did that. So like, you have very much got a recent history of trying to instruct people on how to live their lives.
Sisters, and you know, we don't want those closest to us to feel like, wow, look at them, they have these super hard black and white rules and they almost make this a gospel issue when it is a secondary issue. And so although we still are passionate about it and care about it, we're just trying to reevaluate and figure out how we can, I don't know.
Oh, so their views haven't changed. They're just like, well, how do we stop people being mad at us for these views? Like, we don't want everyone to hate us anymore, but we still think those things. We're just not gonna say it anymore. All right, guys?
This with more humility and in a way that glorifies Christ and doesn't bring like this prideful, like this is the
fuck's Jesus got to do with it? Hasn't the dude been dead for like 1900 years or some shit?
right way and this is the wrong way. I don't know.
I know. I feel like in some ways, the older you get, the less you know.
Yeah, I know.
When you're young, you're like, we know it all. You're like, bum, bum.
It's like, but I feel like it's more pride and then humility settles
And
in.
it's, I think we want to be able to control things in a sense and like have.
Honestly, I feel like if Jesus was like alive, he'd probably be a pretty chill dude. I feel like he'd see your channel and he'd probably make a video with me about this. I'm just saying it, man. I feel like he probably would. I feel like he would. Me and the fucking, what are they called again? His disciples. We make a reaction video to this shit, man. I think it'll be pretty fun. If anyone wants that Jesus collab, put one in the chat and maybe we can get sorted. I'll reach out to the Pope. Maybe he's got connections.
The answers just in general as humans, like we want to know like, okay, what's right, what's wrong, and we latch onto that. And like you're saying, that almost becomes the gospel. That becomes what we're building everything around. And
I never in JC.
So much of it is often centered on pride. And yeah, I can look back in some of my tones and conversations, like even that feeling of superiority when you feel like you have found the gospel truth. Yeah, then you almost look down on people who do something different because you're like, oh, you haven't quite found that gospel truth yet.
Yeah, that's your entire content. Like everything you do is looking down on people. So same for me, but like I talk about nonsense. You talk about normal people.
And it's not the heart at all that God is calling us to have when we talk about modesty, when we talk about any way that we present ourselves. God is constantly over and over again in scripture going to the heart and saying like, don't let it just be external, go to the heart. And I was just looking at 1 Peter 3:3-4, which says, do not let your adorning be external, the braiding of hair and putting on of gold or jewels or the clothing you wear. This is like a cultural reference back when this was written, but let your adorning be the hidden person of the heart with the imperishable beauty of a gentle and quiet.
Damn, she must be getting like high monetization rate. She's got the iPhone 13 Pro Max. She's got the Apple Watch. She's got it all going on, man. She's making bank on these videos. Fair play. Maybe I should start a Christian channel. Should I start a Christian channel, guys?
And there's so much we can unpack here, which we're not in this video, but God is saying, go to the heart. Like, the heart is where it starts. Because if your heart is truly set on me and you're seeking to worship me and your life isn't about you and drawing attention to you and saying, look at me, I'm awesome, or seeking attention out of your insecurities because you want to be noticed, it's like either ditch is not a heart that's centered on worshiping and glorifying God. But when we have that heart, God says, out of that heart is what's going to flow that spirit of reverence, of worship, and it's going to be reflected in how you talk, and how you act, and how you dress, and how you, like, in everything that you do, it's going to be that reflection of that Christ-like heart coming out, and that, I think, is clothed in a spirit of humility. Truly, it is the opposite of a heart of pride, but a heart of humility, humble dependence, humble worship of the one true King, and pointing others to Him, not to ourselves on either side of the spectrum. I think with that humility, for me, like real personal, it's been too, like, even holding certain modesty standards, I've had to evaluate, like, why am I holding this standard? Is it because I truly feel convicted before the Lord and I feel like this is the only way to honor Him? Or do I feel like this is what people expect of me, and this is what, oh, you know, other people might think, like, this is what, you know, she needs to do, or my sisters, or whatever.
I'm just hearing nothing. I am hearing I don't know. I feel this is a new language. Are they speaking Spanish? I don't know what they're saying. And I can understand mild levels of Spanish, but they're speaking another language. I don't know what they're saying. Like, I'm not like saying they're saying anything bad. They probably are, but genuinely, when I hear these two speak, in one, out the other, I cannot intake. My brain is just, there is no filter in my brain which is allowing me to take it in.
Even though I may have a conversation with my husband and we may,
This somebody says in the chat, and they're like when Sims speak to each other. It literally is Sims speaking to each other. Fuck off, chat.
I may pray about it and even, talk to a mentor, someone else, and feel like, wow, I really feel like this is okay. I don't have a problem with it, but why am I not willing to wear something or do something? And so I think there can be a pride even in that way, especially if you come from a conservative background, And so that's just like super honest. It's like, that's, I would say for me, like really evaluating, why do I do what I do? Is this really out of heart because I'm trying to honor God or because I'm trying to keep up a certain reputation? And I'm like, oh, well, if they...
I definitely think a lot of people out there, like serious take for a second, a lot of people do take the things like the gospel, they take religion and they use it to attack people and control people. It's something which has been done since the beginning of time. Religion has been manipulated and used by so many people to control people and to make them do what you want them to do, and I definitely think these two are very much a contributor to that. I definitely think a lot of these Christian conservative channels very much use religion into getting people to do what they believe in, and I don't have any issues with religion whatsoever. I think religion can be a very beautiful thing, but I definitely believe that these people take religion and use it to their own advantage. This is something which they have done since the very beginning of their channel. Like, jokes aside, this is not my problem with religion. It's my problem with the people that use religion to attack people and manipulate people. It's brainwashing.
Then, oh no, and it's like, but I don't feel convicted. I've prayed before the Lord, and my husband, he feels like it's fine, and I even see other godly women who I admire who they think that's fine. So it's just hard. It's like it takes so much humility in every area, and so I think it just takes, like you're saying, that verse, like that humility and coming before God and just saying, change my heart, help me to be humble in every way, because it doesn't matter where you come from, there can be pride set apart, and that's why the modesty conversation is important, because the way we do present ourselves reflects something, right? That's why it starts in the heart, it reflects something. So I think this is just a call for all of us as Christian women, girls, older women, wherever you are, to say like, hey, join us on this journey of continuing to grow and learn in this, and let's all examine our hearts. Let's ask the why questions. Why do I do this? Why do I not do this? Why am I looking down on this person? Or how do I need to grow? Are there areas where
I love that they basically just admit though that we look down on people. Like, they literally are admitting that here, and that's just amazing to me, dude. What an amazing thing to admit in your YouTube videos.
Starting to feel convicted, like, I am wearing that out of pride.
But also, somebody just in the chat, everything is so hard for them, but it's so true. It's like, you guys, you don't need to make a 20-minute video to respect your others, I'm pretty sure it's in the fucking Bible. Isn't that like a line in the Bible to respect thy neighbor or whatever? Isn't that a line? Like a pretty important line in the Bible? Like, and these guys are just bad at it. You run a Christian channel and you are bad at one of the main rules. You look down on people? That's not respecting and loving your neighbor. That's really rude.
In my modesty or pride in wanting to expose myself more for whatever reason, like, let's have honest conversations in our own hearts with each of ourselves before the Lord. With ourselves. I mean, really, it's like examining our hearts. Search me and know me, God. Like, you see every hidden part of my heart, and let's continue growing and learning in this together. Yeah, I think one of the reasons why Girl Defined in the beginning, like, people really latched onto it is because we were super open and honest and just said what we thought, and that got us good places and bad places. But it got us some of these and some of these. But I do, with more humility, I think we're trying to in some ways get back to that, just like being willing to be more open with you all, because that's what you all loved in the beginning, whether you liked it or hated it. People just love that honesty. And so
they're basically saying that their views haven't actually changed. They're just trying to, one, get more views, and two, they're trying to not make people mad at them for their views. I think that's basically what it is. I don't think there's any change here. How our views on modesty has changed kind of implies that it's like, I guess maybe changed in the opposite direction, but no, it's our views haven't changed. It's we don't want to get in trouble for our views.
Is an attempt to just be like
Hi,
honest
Gamer.
and say,
hey Maisie, how you doing?
Where we are at. So if you're all watching this on Instagram, we really do want to hear your thoughts and hear like your feedback and just like where your thoughts are on this whole conversation, and like you personally, where are you at on your journey with this, and just like how are you going to evaluate with self, in the Lord, whatever that was you said.
Your heart and the Lord's heart.
I feel like I could say so much about this, but you got any final?
No, I think that's a good place to leave it.
We'll just drop the mic.
I feel like how are they doing a mic drop? I feel like I've learned absolutely nothing here. Somebody in the chat says, yeah, the Bible tells people they can't get to not get haircuts. Yeah, bro, it's like believe what you want to believe in, but like, Jesus Christ, these people are using this stuff to instruct people how to live their lives, and their views haven't changed. They haven't changed. They're the exact same people, and they just don't want to get in trouble anymore. They want to get the monetization, and they want those dislikes. Yeah, honestly, I'm not really shocked by this. I did just kind of want
What's
to
that
laugh
thing?
at this is just a channel which is so easy to laugh at, you know, and that's why I'm not doing a main video on it. It's just funny. I mean, look.
What's up, y'all? It's just Bethany here today. Kristen and I are in
what they're
full
gonna say
speed
in
conference
this.
mode, and we just didn't have
Can we love ourselves too much?
just how self-obsessed we are naturally in our own prideful hearts, and then just that message that we hear over and over again, basically from everything in pop culture to just, I don't know, just I feel like everywhere we turn, especially on social media, and just the advice we're given is like to feel better about yourself, to find true satisfaction, you have to look out for number one, and you have to think of yourself above everyone else and put yourself above everyone else. I took a deep dive into this on this week's podcast, so if you go to episode 37 of the Girl Defined Show on our podcast, I'll link it below. I talked and shared a bunch of my story of real and how much hope I found in the gospel truly, and how that's changed me. Matthew 20:20, purpose here on earth, why he came, and then is literally the purpose, but to serve and to give his life. Did not come to be served, but to serve and to give his life as a ransom for many. So what that scripture is saying, that Jesus came, he was literally perfect. He entered into this world with the purpose of dying, death, a gruesome death on the cross, unjust death. He did not deserve it, but he came because we are so lost, broken, and needy, and we need a way to have hope in the future and to spend eternity with him and have a restored relationship with him, and to be freed of our guilt and shame because we can't find that within. And so Jesus came, he loved us so much, and he literally came.
She's basically saying that you should probably not like yourself as much as you do because Jesus did a thing. There was a book for 1,000 years ago which just said, hey, that thing happened, and she has now based her entire... I mean, it's fine, but like, to say people love themselves too much and I guess imply that it's a bad thing to put yourself ahead of others, I don't actually think it is. As long as you're not harming anybody, I think self-love is a wonderful thing, and I implore everybody to try and reach a level of self-enlightenment of where you can love yourself. It's a pretty rare thing, but if somebody gets to that point of where they do love themselves, that's amazing, and I would only encourage that. And this is what I'm saying, man. These people will just say the most absurd shit, and it's not a joke, which is the worst part. Like, it's not, and I find it hilarious every time I watch these videos. But yeah, to conclude this video, gotta find you seem to be, rather than a part of Christianity, you more seem to have formed your own cult, and that's really concerning. But yes, thank you for watching, YouTube. Everybody in the chat say bye. We're going to call it a day there for this YouTube video. Please subscribe if you're new here. Please like this video, and please comment. As you can see, they're saying bye. So I'm now going to say goodbye.